Welcome to Soil Doctor, where we go far beyond surface gardening and dig deep into what truly builds fertile, living soil. Compost is often hailed as the ultimate garden amendment, and it is, but there's a right way and a wrong way to make it. This guide isn't about tossing kitchen scraps into a bin and hoping for results. It's about engineering decomposition to produce stable, microbe-rich compost that can transform even the most depleted soils. Compost begins with ingredients, but not just any ingredients. The quality of compost depends entirely on what you put in. A strong compost system balances nitrogen-rich greens and carbon-heavy browns, but that's only the foundation. Nitrogen comes from moist, green materials like vegetable trimmings, grass clippings, coffee grounds, and fresh manure. Carbon is found in dry, fibrous materials such as straw, dried leaves, cardboard, shredded paper, or sawdust from untreated wood. However, to truly build a bioactive compost pile, you'll want to incorporate amendments that feed microbial diversity. These include things like rock dust, which reintroduces trace minerals. A handful of aged manure introduces microbial populations and thermophilic bacteria that help with heat generation. Seaweed or kelp meal, if available, adds plant hormones and over 60 trace elements. Even a few shovels of healthy garden soil can inoculate the pile with decomposers and fungi, creating a starter culture for the microbial succession to come. Structure and layering, not random, but strategic. Random composting leads to poor airflow, rotting smells, and slow results. A productive compost pile is structured intentionally. Start with a coarse base layer, such as sticks or straw, to create airflow at the bottom. Then build up alternating layers of greens and browns. Each green layer, which is moist and nitrogen-rich, should be followed by a thicker brown layer, dry and carbon-rich, to prevent excess moisture and odor. Do not compact the layers. Every third or fourth layer, add a handful of soil, finished compost, or even an old decomposed pile. This infuses each level with microbial life and helps establish aerobic conditions. Remember that moisture is vital. Your materials should be as damp as a wrung-out sponge. Dry piles stall, overly wet ones turn anaerobic. The role of air and water in microbial life. Aerobic decomposition is your goal. Oxygen fuels the beneficial bacteria that break down materials into humus. Without it, anaerobic bacteria take over, producing foul odors and breaking down organic matter inefficiently. Turning the pile every 7 to 10 days replenishes oxygen and redistributes moisture and microbial colonies. Water is equally important. If the pile is too dry, microbes go dormant. If it's too wet, air is displaced and decomposition slows. During dry spells, lightly water your pile when turning it. In wet climates, cover the pile with a tarp to prevent leaching and saturation. Temperature tells the truth. Use it to your advantage. A well-balanced compost pile will heat up rapidly, ideally reaching temperatures of 130 to 150 degrees Fahrenheit, or 54 to 65 degrees Celsius, within a few days. It kills weed seeds, breaks down tough materials, and sanitizes the compost. Use a compost thermometer to monitor the core. If temperatures drop prematurely, the pile needs turning or more nitrogen. Turn the pile once the internal temperature drops below 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Each turning reintroduces air, redistributes moisture, and restarts microbial activity. After several hot cycles, the pile will stop heating and enter the curing phase. Curing, the most overlooked step. Most gardeners stop composting too soon. Just because a pile looks dark and crumbly doesn't mean it's mature. Immature compost may still be undergoing microbial breakdown and can tie up nitrogen when applied to soil. The curing phase, lasting anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks, is where compost stabilizes. Fungal colonies replace bacteria, and microbial populations shift toward those found in healthy soil ecosystems. During curing, the pile should no longer generate heat and should smell like forest soil. If you still see recognizable materials, decomposition is not complete. Mature compost should feel loose, earthy, and moist, never slimy or smelly. When and how to use compost correctly. Once compost is fully cured, it's ready to be used. Apply it as a top dressing around plants to improve structure and moisture retention. Mix it into planting holes or blend it with native soil to create fertile beds. For degraded or compacted soils, spread a 1 to 2 inch layer over the surface and allow rainfall or irrigation to move nutrients downward over time. Compost should never be viewed as a fertilizer alone, but rather as a microbial amendment. Its real value lies in inoculating the soil with life, enhancing biological activity, and supporting long-term fertility through organic matter integration. What to avoid to protect your soil ecosystem. Do not add meat, dairy, oily foods, synthetic materials, or chemically treated wood to your compost. These can introduce harmful bacteria, attract pests, or damage soil biology. Be cautious with materials like citrus peels and glossy papers. They contain compounds that may suppress microbial life or introduce toxins. Avoid composting diseased plants unless your pile reaches and sustains high temperatures. And never apply unfinished compost directly to seedlings or sensitive roots. It will compete for nitrogen and potentially stunt growth. Compost is not just waste management, it's soil therapy. Compost is more than recycled waste. When done correctly, it becomes a living amendment that repairs soil structure, boosts water retention, and recharges microbial communities. It's the foundation for regenerative agriculture and long-term food production. As a soil steward, your compost pile isn't a side project, it's your most powerful tool. If you're committed to rebuilding your soil from the ground up, subscribe to Soil Doctor for more in-depth soil science, regenerative practices, and compost mastery. And don't forget to share this guide with fellow growers who are ready to compost with purpose. Let's restore our soil, one pile at a time.